Hello, my name is Sydney Zoki. This is for the week 5 assignment, determining interest rates. And this is my video talking about that assignment for this week. So the first part of it is consider what you've learned about how interest rates are quoted, compare and contrast the annual percentage rate, nominal interest rate, and the effective interest rate. So the annual percentage rate, I'm using my computer for notes, is the percentage rate of interest, and it indicates their interest paid or earned in 1 year without compounding. And compounding means without taking interest on previously accumulated interest. So compounding is taking interest on previously accumulated interest, and the annual percentage rate does not compound. It's the amount of interest paid in 1 year, so not on previously earned interest. So the way that APR is calculated is the interest rate per period. So if the period is 14 days, then it's the interest rate for those 14 days, not the interest rate for the year in which all those 14-day periods occur. The APR is also called the nominal or quoted interest rate, and that's because it is the rate that the lenders say that you are paying at. So the quoted rate is the rate that the lender is telling you that you're paying in that time period. To make them comparable, so to make quoted interest rates comparable, you have to change them to an equivalent rate using the effective annual rate. So we calculate their equivalent rates using an annual compounding period, and so basically the way that they do that is they divide the percent interest rate by the number of periods within a year. That so like say it was weeks, the period is weeks, you divide it by 52 because there are 52 weeks per year. So by dividing it and then you take it to the exponent is the number of periods, and then once you do all of those, once you do all of that, then you are able to see the EAR, which allows you to compare between different periods because it is taking the actual rate per year rather than the rate per period, which is what the APR is. So they are able to be compared because now it is all one time period rather than individual time periods, which can't be compared because they're a different amount of time. So a real world business example of this is when a business is looking to take out a loan, they're going to look at different lenders, different banks to lend them money. So one bank might offer a short-term loan, and the interest rate is, say, 16% for a one-time payment per year. So you look at that and you think, okay, so one interest rate, or the interest rate is compounding one time a year, and then you look at like one from a bank that says that the interest rate is 8%, but it's compounded semi-annually. So if it's taken semi-annually. So if you look at those two, the 8% over like 2 halves of the year might seem better, but then once because it's 8% interest rate. So you think that would be better, but once you calculate it, you would actually find that the EAR is lower for the 16% over a year, which means that loan would be a better one to take because you'd be paying less interest, especially compounded interest per year. So yeah, that's how a real world business would use it. Like say a church was looking to take out a loan to buy a new building, that's how they would go about doing that. And yeah, so when you're making a financial decision, you use the EAR to compare what it would look like over a whole year, so that you can see what the actual interest you'd be paying is and compare it between the two. So some of the sources I used are the Pearson book with Teichmann and Known, and I used from chapter 5, specifically the 4th section, making interest rates comparable. And then I also used the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco's website that had what is the difference between the real interest rate and the nominal interest rate. And so those were the two sources that I used. The first was published in 2017, the second in 2003. Thank you so much.